Hello everyone, this is Greyshot 170 bringing you a Steel Division replay, and after a trip, an illness, and multiple other things occurring, content on the channel should be back up and running at full speed. Right, Tally? Alright, my cat's right next to me assisting with this replay, which is a 1v1 on Steel Division with two infantry divisions pretty much going at it, so we'll see how things go. We have the 3rd Canadian Infantry versus the 352 Infantry by Cadillactor and Anti-Hype. So, should be pretty interesting indeed. Right now, it's setup phase for those new to Steel Division. So, everyone's setting up, getting ready to go. And A capacity, what are we looking at here? So, looks like we have an AT gun, a Humber, pretty good vehicle. I actually kind of like these suckers. Had a guy actually yesterday use a bunch of Luxes trying to rush the enemy. Did not go well. That was more of an armor company, but still, it was like, I'm going to charge. Did not work. Anyway, I'm going to fast forward while setup is going on. Remember, if you want to submit your replay, you can do so via my Gmail. The email is down below. And also a reminder, there's actually a website called Steel Division Replays I'm looking at right now because, again, I haven't done Steel Division in quite some time, so people haven't been sending me in, which is perfectly reasonable because I've been busy. So, you know, that's what happens when life happens. You have to focus on life. And then you get back into doing YouTube content of course, the people who said the quote would in that time. Because they would be like, yes, the most important thing is to make content videos online for the people of the internet. Live tree going through again. They're gonna push for the town. We have a small force on the left. Actually, let's minus it a little bit. We have a PZ Jaeger. I love these things because again, they are very good at just again you get a nice close-up example. Nice long range unit. I mean, again, just put it in perspective, has about 1,000 meters, which early on is pretty damn useful, and it helps like long range targets. It's pretty much the most powerful thing that the Germans have the most powerful unit on the map right now. They have a Bazooka team, sure, but that's like, what, 100 meter, 200 meter range? It's not much. Sure, they have the AA Greyhound, but it's not armor piercing. They have an AT gun, but if I am correct in my statement, let's see when it's deployed. I think it's 1,000 meters at most. They do have an IG-18, so a nice artillery piece to open fire. And you can see here, 9 power, so it's pretty damn powerful. Rush for the city, big battle going on, lots of infantry being deployed. You can see he just hit U to deploy all of his units as fast as possible. He still has like a couple Kubels that can provide supportive fire and a flamethrower unit to uphold the city. Looks like it's going to be battle literally straight on. Nice shot. Looks like they're able to hit that vehicle from moving up, so that's a truck down with possible infantry inside. Looks like his infantry coming around the flank again, try to pin him. He is rushing his infantry across the street, but they are taking heavy fire and looks like might be pinned. He needs to get in a building very quickly. We do have a flamethrower unit burning them outside, and due to that they instantly fell. Let's hide the HUD. Very nice. They are still moving multiple buildings on fire from those flamethrower units. Kubels, oof. I was going to say doing fine, but they got hit with a nice bazooka shot, so things are not going well. They do have the church, and it looks like they do have the right-hand flank. So it looks like, yeah, those Austrian on the flank didn't succeed. Again, we have a lot of veteran troops. We have additional forces moving up. But overall, majority of the city is right now under their control, though we have a WASP. And as long as it doesn't get... Oh, there we go. I was going to say, the problem with Austrian is the fact that they are very potent, very close range against lighter vehicles. So you have to really worry about that. You can see here the limited ammo they have. So that could be a problem with close quarters combat, is the fact that you have so many guys firing these guns. It may prove ineffective once they run out of ammo, or as they are getting close to. Though, the MG nest, the Vickers, held in the church, falling back, and unfortunately is probably going to die in the street. They have a lot of vetted troops, part of this doctrine, compared to the Germans that kind of sent up a lot of very good troops with a lot of poor troops. But it looks like they have pushed the Allies out. We do have an Allied relief force coming into the city, but again, they have to take the roads in for most effectiveness. And right now, they are... Oh, no, I'm sorry. Is he going to left or right? All right, he's going to head right. This could put him into contact with the Osttroopen, but it seems like the Germans are moving in additional forces themselves. Not as many, but still. On the left-hand side, we have a scout force making sure they don't move up forces. We have this scout car just hiding, so that way it doesn't get blown by that AT, which is a 1,000 meter range. Yes, 1,000 meter. On the right-hand side, let's double-check. Bazooka. Oh yeah, there's the bazooka team. There we go. And let me check the range. 200 meters at most. That's wonderful. We have the stationary AA and also the rifle firing long range, but we have the MG along with the Osttroopen. And then you have these two suckers just firing long range. You can see the rounds currently opening fire on these positions. Gonna slowly push them back, and as you can see, it's doing quite a bit of damage. So he needs to really focus on that. But looks like the Allied forces are bringing a lot of vetted troops and their active grenades, and TNT, which looks like they used. Flamethrower units opening fire. Again, Flamethrower does a lot of damage, but they're very vulnerable. Okay, they got pinned, and because there's a unit there, they surrendered. Very nice. Again, you make a unit pinned, you can make them surrender very quickly. I've made King Tiger surrender. It's quite annoying if you have that Tiger, but still, it's pretty awesome. The Germans, unfortunately, need more forces. They do have everything across the street, but the Allies are pushing up, and that Flamethrower unit will... Oh, damn! There's a truck down. That Flamethrower, yeah, unit will not by itself be able to hold. So it's going to run into this building and try to hold them off across the street. The Allies are barely holding the outside of the city, but again, right now we look at overall... Because again, this game is Conquest, so it's how much territory you have. Yeah, the Allies have essentially locked down a decent amount of territory. They're still at 40%, but the Axis have right now a small edge. It's not going to be enough to win the game. As you can see, it's 1 point, so you can just cruise until it's time limit, which is exactly what, you know, how long this game is going to go. I like how these games are at least all 40 minutes. That is helpful. That is pretty nice. Unfortunately, it looks like that Flamethrower got out-flamethrowered by a Flamethrower, and looks like he's going to pull back his Osttroopen to make sure he doesn't get burned alive, which, not a bad idea, because you have that sucker moving in, burning everything in the city. We do have additional forces moving in, but looks like we actually some relief forces outside the city from a local farm, providing some long-range fire as well. And it looks like that Wasp is slowly pushing in, so that will be something they have to worry about. Because again, if the Flamethrower unit is able to get in and actually start burning a lot of those buildings from afar, while they're mainly focusing from the city on this outside bank, it could be pretty bad. But looks like we do have artillery coming in, and that would be an 81mm mortar, along with a Panzer III command tank. You can tell it's a command tank by this star. It's going to move in and provide a little bit of a buff. Plus, it can fire long-range fire at certain targets. So that could be pretty cool if it can just fire and try to push them back. Now, oh, very nice. I love it's limited fire, but it is able to hit that. Not anymore. It moved up too much. But it had a nice shot where it pinned some forces, and it can move up. The problem, though, is these rifles, you can see here, again, they have a lot of good weapons, and Brens and stuff are great. But if you're a Company of Heroes 2 player, you know Brens are fantastic, except against armor. You need the Piat. Well, guess what? They don't have Piats. They don't even have Gammon bombs, which, you know, they really need to get that upgrade, you know. Probably go to the base, upgrade. I'm kidding. Let's see. We have a Ram 2 deployed. Oh, I'm curious. So we have a Ram 2, which has 11 attack power. What is range? Deactivated, so it looks like they're mainly focusing on armor, or trying to anyway. Again, you can deactivate certain parts, be like, hey, bitch, focus fire on this annoying SOB, please, thank you. It would be grateful. 1,000 meter versus 1,000 meters. So technically, they should be able to see each other and should be able to fire, judging on neutral. Let's check anti-hype real quick. So anti-hype is, again, the allied player, and he can see that. And yeah, oh boy, Cadillacor just lost his really good AT slash support tank. So again, kind of sucks. Now this thing with actually really good armor is holding the front. You can see here that they do have some guys in this building, which can't be seen because they're not opening fire. Not a bad idea. Again, if you don't fire, you can't really be seen, which is a good idea to get troops behind enemy lines and just surprise attack. Unfortunately, this right hook is going to fall. They do have an AT gun moving up, which could help, but it depends on the strength. Over here, their defense force is holding for right now. Looks like, unfortunately, that poor Humber just came around the side and got pretty much annihilated. So that's a big issue. I'm curious, does Cadillacor see any of these? He has no idea about these forces. Okay. It actually barely sees anything in there. Well, we know Anti-Hype has a ton of forces in this city. That's my problem with this. Sometimes this game is recon, can be very fidgety, but whatever. Flamethrower scaring the tank back. Oh, that's hilarious. And some light force they're trying to hold. Wow, okay, allied forces are just doubling down in that city. And you really need a good artillery strike to really break them up. We do have additional infantry moving up, but let's see. I'm assuming these are not the best guys. We do have an MG on the corner, which could help if they try to rush down Main Street, but with this MG also providing supported fire, it could be an issue. Additional infantry moving up with a mortar team. Right now, I think he's good on infantry. Like, I'm not trying to be mean. I think with the 5 infantry, you have more than enough firepower to hold off these guys. What I would do with these guys would kind of be pushing over here. Because if you can kind of yeah, I'd push them on the right. Because enough buildings here, you could rush up. You already have an MG. Push up here. And then you hold down this city, and that way when you press, you have this huge area with defensive buildings you can hold against enemy fire against, you know, a big open street, and you push into the forest area, and then you have this long area where you can put up recon, AT, you name it. He's putting a lot of Ostrup in here, so that's my concern would be the fact that if you try to rush more infantry there, it could be just a slaughtering ground between you and your men. Flamethrower trying to burn them out, not a bad idea. Ostrup freaking the fuck out, but again, they do have that little recruit, which makes them real easy to kill. At least not as effective as, let's say, a Vet 2 guy or a Vet 3. Hello, Vet 3 Wasp. Anyway, additional forces coming in. It looks like we have a fighter. Oh, I'm definitely gonna get on that thing. Hello. Fighter coming in to provide aerial support on the city. Looks like he's able to get some strafing runs in, and I don't really see any enemy fighters, so I'm assuming he's just going to keep telling it to do some nice strafes. Because again, as long as a fighter doesn't lose its men, it can keep hitting that city. God damn, is that city on fire. Oh boy. Things are not looking well. But that being said, you look at it and you can say, oh, the Axis have a majority of the city, and yeah, I hate to break it, but yeah, it's a close battle. The Axis are literally fighting in fire, but they're still holding. Barely. And I would even say pressing by... Oh, nope, never mind. You gain an inch, you lose a mile. Oh, boy. This is not going well. They are pushing on the right with some additional Ostrupen. Looks like the Germans' idea... Cadillac's idea is push right as hard as possible, but his weaker Ostrupen are having some difficulty. That being said, if he provide his command vehicle in to kind of boost them, that could really provide some support. Left-hand side looks like the support gun. A new Jaeger is opening fire. Unfortunately, not being able to really hit it. It's just bouncing off the damn tank. Wow, I love that. It's just, you can see the shot bouncing off. And unfortunately, this thing, well, I'm actually surprised it's bouncing off. Hold on. Level 10? On its side? That's weird. Because all this is like hiding. It's okay, I was gonna say it's on its angle. It's on like showing its back rear. It's like Fury, where it's like the tank goes around to kill the tiger, and it's bouncing off that. It's like, huh, that doesn't seem right. Because again, if you have a King Tiger in this game, the King Tiger has I think 19 armor, I think, and on the side of it it's 9. So it's like if it's a gun is higher than 9, they should be able to penetrate it, even though the Tiger has 19 armor on the front. It looks like there is an issue with the Allied push, though. He has pushed up quite a bit, but it looks like the Germans were able to at least do some nice punches over on the right-hand side and gain a small foothold, at least be able to hold it slightly. The Wasp looks like it was defeated, most likely trying to push up to support. So we have a priest coming in a little close. Hold on, the fuck? Alright. Cool. Okay. I don't know why that... I guess it's support unit, I would assume. That's a little weird. I'm sorry. The fact that it looks like it has a double fan makes me think, oh yeah, it's the boat option. Because again, the fan. Boat. Which is weird they even have that because again, not many of these maps have like huge waterways to cross. Some do, but I almost never... If you see a game where there's a massive naval assault... Let me know. That would be cool if they added more of that stuff in, but alas, with Normandy, there isn't exactly a lot of giant lakes that you can really battle across. It's small. There's a couple like small rivers that you can go through, but not like islands, unfortunately. Anyway, the Axis is still winning. They're still holding a majority of the map, and over on the right-hand side, they did manage to push back that armor and kill it. So good. Very nice job. Looks like, again, major casualties. So he is holding here. He did have to put in some decent reserves, and looks like they are running low on ammo, so that's not good. On this side, however, things are going interesting. He's pushing up with his men. He doesn't have a lot of friendly troops, but it doesn't matter. As long as he can push up a little bit, he's gaining a little bit of territory. And this is causing the Allied player to be like, oh shit, I have to hold my left flank. They could have a lot. support gun opening fire, and again, if they knock out that building, that'll be that swing that they need, because right now the entire left flank for the Allies is falling. They can now really push up force, and they know, okay, most likely there's nothing there. They still have to be wary, but overall, once that falls, then they have a major push into the city. It looks like after long concentrated fire, that in the new Pioneer squads, they seem to be doing pretty damn well. And it looks like these grenades were able to help clear a lot of units in the city. Grenades are great, by the way. Grenades are fantastic at just clearing infantry and buildings. We do have a 25 pounder, and it is opening fire. Again, a lot of the Canadians have a lot of British or original Allied components, so they're able to get some decent artillery in. And it looks like, yeah, it's overwhelming the IG-18. They have a recon unit here, but you can see he's not really trying to fire. He's still keeping recon available, so if I pull up anti-hype, you will see that all these units are currently being spotted. Why? Because of them. Peace is currently spotting them. If I currently pull up their viewfinder, you can see, oh, there. Okay, that's cool. They're all there. Wonderful. And that's pretty much everything he has, except for some recon himself. Anyway, they're moving up. Looks like they have an AT gun that's moving up again. Try to make sure it's not seen at all costs, because it's very vulnerable. We have the Sherman Mark III moving up. Not half bad. Pushing up into enemy lines. And again, it looks like he doesn't really have anything, especially with the AT gun down, to hold it back. Oh, hello. Maybe not. Is this a... Oh, it is. We have a flak gun moving up. And this could help. Because, again, its gun is extremely powerful, and it could hold back the tank if it's used effectively. We do have a decent armor. Infantry moving up, and we have additional infantry reinforcements moving into the city. The Germans have pushed up, though, with their command tank, so it's pretty much a giant battle. A lot of Allied, a lot of Axis forces currently battling on the outskirts of the city, but the Allies have been slowly pushed back, so that's a big problem. We do have artillery coming in, but it's focusing on another area, not here. And we see here, actually, the Allies are pretty much being hit by all angles, which is kind of bad. I would say very bad. Anyway, you still have this tank here, and this tank is essentially providing them support fire. It's essentially telling them what to do and giving them bonuses. Think of it as just like if the head of everyone's here, it's going to be in the most protected area while it's on the front. Like, oh god, old Roman or something, yeah, actually, Roman commanders would be on horseback or something along those lines to make sure that they would survive. Or even during, I'm sorry, I've been watching a lot of Extra History. I love that channel. My brother's like, hey, check this out. I just watched their Sweden campaign. But again, it definitely helps to have a commander. Oh god, artillery's coming down all over these guys, making buildings collapse, and they're in full retreat. Oh my, they all surrendered. He rushed up his tank and made 5 units surrender. Oh my god. Though, say the French mass surrendered, but today the Canadians mass surrendered. Anyway, the Allies are having none of this. They're sending their Sherman and being like, bitch, we are not surrendering. We are going to kill that command tank, if at all possible. Anyway, what was I saying? Most of their guys went horseback to oversee commanders and oversee the battlefield tactics and whatnot. And again, this is also in the Civil War, if you ever seen like the stuff like that. But anyway, it's to help boost morale without being like, hey, let's have our general literally in front of everyone being a giant target against a giant machine gun. You know, probably not a great idea, but this is as close as they can get with being relative safety. Relative is the big key word right now, because this tank is more powerful than the Panzer III, so I expect the Sherman to annihilate it. Yep, there it goes. And there goes their command structure. We do have a priest on the front, which yeah, I'm curious what the hell it's doing this close, but whatever. The Allies seem to be doing pretty good on the left, so I can't exactly denounce them just yet. And it looks like whatever, well, hold on. Nope, it detracts. So whatever they had on the left-hand side died. So the Allies, not only, they lost city, but they seem to be focusing more on the left, which is actually helping. Oh, the right, too. I'm sorry, I didn't even notice this. So it looks like they were able to knock out that armor. I'm assuming, yeah, they did. They have a huge pack gun now, Pack 43. If you know Company of Heroes 2, my favorite pack gun ever. Most of the time I see it, it's so massive, it's so grand that you can't move it. But these suckers are like, yeah, we can lift it. We can move this. We can move it. Which I assume makes sense because it has wheels. Anyway, it looks like some Austrian are pushing back and able to help clear it. Sherman along with some allied reinforcements. And again, look at the veterancy on these guys. They're really pushing up. And the problem is they're fresh off. They're fresh. They're good. They have tons of ammo and they're doing everything possible to just press the Germans as hard as possible. We do have a Grenadier Fuhrer over here, so that's going to help boost their guys while the tank is dead. But he's so far back that he can't really hit everything. And also, while he is boosting his guys, the guys have taken a lot of casualties already, so there's not really much to command. You do have, again, if you're wondering what that is, that's 170mm artillery coming down from this guy. Not a bad idea, and actually it looks like we have a plane that's doing some AT strafes. I'm assuming he's trying to use that to target a lot of those buildings. He has enough for a couple runs, so he could keep deploying them if he so wanted, but I'm assuming he's just going to pull back. Yeah. Infantry trying to push on the right, but looks like we have the Marauder 2 doing some light fire, and looks like he's about to run out of shots to hold the infantry back. Again, that one Austrian squad may hold back the recon. No way he's going to hold back all these squads, which is why the Marauder is opening fire to keep them contained until these guys can deal with the recon pieces, limit their sight, and then lock down the city if it, the force if at all possible. So nice job. You got one squad down. The second one, I like how they're in the forest, but it's like, nah, we're going to give them medium cover. Because why not? Anyway. Looks like, wow, Grenadiers launching a full assault. They have some Panzerfaust, but they don't have grenades. So, that could be an issue. These guys are out of grenades as well. They do a lot of damage versus guys in buildings. Artillery is coming down, attacking the mortar. Looks like he's going more of an artillery focus. That's fine. Again, if they're in the city, I get why you get these to just open fire on any boats. Actually, we see the Sherman rushing in the background. And again, most likely they're trying to break that city up as much as possible. But again, they need frontline units. And they also... That's what these guys are for. And that's what they're pushing them back. And also they're knocking out the support structure, which is not a bad idea. Looks like they're able to do that. And the Allies have managed to take control of a majority of the city. Very cool indeed. Planes coming in, looking for a target. Double fighters. You know, I'm actually very curious. Like, why he's been deploying... The fighters are expensive. That's 160. So why do you keep deploying fighters if we have... Oh, there it is. I was like, why do you deploy fighter? I've not seen one allied fighter. And, of course, as I say that, jinxing myself, a Spitfire comes in. Which is good. Again, pushes back the allied air force. Though, looks like it's going to be a battle between fighters. We do have a veterancy on the Spitfire. But that being said, looks like the FW was able to open fire. Wow, another one being deployed. Dude, that means you have 4 fighters. Like, nothing against you. But I think you could use it elsewhere. Now, the Spitfire is dead, so that, I mean, the Allied forces currently don't have the points for it. But, yeah, right now, German dude, you're losing quite a bit on the front. You've completely lost the city. Okay, no, I won't say completely. You're very close to losing the entire city. And you're barely holding the right by a half-track, which carried a Flak 88 that died. So, yeah, wonderful. Good job for you. Artillery still opening fire, and looks like, yep, and here's the counter to it. You just get some mobile AA, and that's exactly what he got. These babies have nice AA components to them, and actually, let me double check. I think it's 1,000 meter. No, 800. Okay, that's still pretty good. If he puts it down the city, just kind of spread it out, and that way the infantry can like be the outer guard. When the planes come in, those things will tear them apart, and they might even get extra veterancy if they have, you know, the command tank next to it, which will make them even more deadly, which is amazing and terrifying. But anyway, artillery is opening fire, and looks like again they're focusing a lot of their explosive shots on these Grenadiers, trying to break him out of that building, which is not a bad idea. If you know there's one guy there, oh my god, the Air Force. And because of the AA, they're being pushed back. And they're also mopping up a lot of infantry, which is not good. So the Luftwaffe showed up and just got wrecked. Rickety wrecked. I mean, planes are fine, and they definitely do have an advantage. Actually, funny enough, for planes, the one plane I see is most critical is the AT one. And the reason I say that is if you can get a good AT plane in, that could cripple any armor on either side. So if you can at least make sure that if there's a tank bugging you, and that's only one tank, that's what happens a lot of times. One tank will come in and change the tide. Maybe like that Sherman coming in. You can call in the AT gun, strafe and just knock it out. That's hugely critical. But then you do like, there's a bunch of infantry and you're like, oh, let's get bombers. Remember, this infantry is like 20. And the bombers don't necessarily kill it, but they will kill the tank, which is like, what, 70 to 350 with a king? And if you do a good strafe, that being said, a rocket strafe will most likely not kill a king unless you hit it from its rear, which I give you full credit if you can somehow get behind enemy lines or get the tank to turn itself at the plane. That's awesome. But anyway, artillery, meanwhile, let's get back to this game. A lot of fire on the outskirts as the German forces had to retreat, or still retreating and dying. On the left-hand side, they are holding territory, but the Allies, for the first time during this match, actually have more map control than the Germans. And right now, with a lot of those points spent on the Air Force, I don't see the Germans coming back with a full army anytime soon. He's gonna have to wait a little bit. Now, again, I've been kind of skipping the phases, but we are in phase C. For those who don't know, every phase you get more money. So, for example, the Germans now have 130. But again, anti-up has that. So Ju-87 moving in. I'm assuming he's going to target the plane. We shall see. Being hit by a ton of AA. Cannot go in for the hit. And has to pull back. Actually, funny enough, that it looks like that Priest may hit it with its, what's it called? MG. Which is hilarious. I had done Company of Heroes 2, a Tiger kill was it a P-47? And I got the image just barely of that amazing shot, and it's one of my most. It's like if I can get a thumbnail of a plane going down with a tank in Company of Heroes 2, I'm like guaranteed 1,000 extra clicks. It's very hard to do. Very hard to do. It's very hard to do with said unit, but it's interesting. Yeah, with light infantry coming in, I just don't see it. We have a nice AA and tank combined with the infantry going to push back the guys on the right. In the city, I'm assuming they're just going to lock it down. And while the infantry is kind of sort of reinforcing the left, I don't see them pushing up. They just don't have the capacity to overextend. Because again, all it takes is some infantry to just push here, and they're going to have a lot of hurt. We do have the Nebel Warfare, which unfortunately is depleted, which means you need a supply truck, which I'm assuming you're going to get because they're pretty cheap. So the fact you haven't gotten it already, kind of startling. Now, anti-hype in this position can turn the tide. Right now, he has a lot of forces all building up. And it's hard to come back at this moment. But Catalytic Orange just needs. Oh Jesus Christ! That's why you're saving up. He got himself a Jag Panther and a ton of infantry and AT gun to support. I guess he's hoping this to kind of just hold out the allies on the right, and I guess he's hoping with the Jag Panzer is to just hammer them on the left. What the hell is that? I'm assuming that's the attack or defense, like a message. But hold on. Nothing. Enemy contact. Oh, that's a nice side shot from the AT gun. He was not expecting that. The Lynx was like, I'm going to move up. And they're like, nope. So that was a nice shot. Infantry up again. Oh boy, AT gun. You really need to deploy. Infantry moving up. Yag is about to deploy to Vet 2. Sherman's like, we got this. And Yag Panther's like, nope. Boom goes to Sherman in one foul swoop. Now he's going to move up. The problem is going to be the city because that tank's going to suck. Nice AT gun hitting that Lynx, pulling it back. Additional infantry moving up, and it looks like he is pushing up and kind of regrouping with the AA guns, kind of with his whole right flank. I guess just trying to hold these hedges in the front, kind of hold back the enemy. Not a bad idea. Problem is that Yag Panther is just going to keep annihilating a lot of your infantry. I mean, it has a couple really nice high explosive shots, but not a ton. It's designed to kill tanks, not infantry. So that's a big problem. It's like the biggest issue with the Elephant. The Elephant is an amazing tank destroyer, but the idiot who didn't design the thing with an MG on top, it has to be shaking their head like, oh yeah, we forgot about that. Because the most common way to kill it is, if I recall, I could be wrong, was goddamn rush up with troops, pour gasoline in it, and just set it ablaze. It's like, really? You guys couldn't have thought of that? Wow, alright. Lynx going head on and dying. I don't know what the fuck that guy was thinking about charging, but he was like, tally ho, good sir. And then he saw the Ag Panther, and he's just like, I have made regrets. I deeply regret this decision. Looks like the German charge is causing some units to surrender, but though the Ag Panther just knocking out the AA guns, which if the Allied Air Force, which is now falling back, could deploy in heavy force, like in actually like a large assault, he could break up this entire line with some good AT strafes and whatnot, just on and fighter support, just hitting the infantry, and not instantly retreating them. Additional infantry moving up again, play defensive right now, and have the Ag Panzer just keeps hitting them left and right. We do have a 17-pounder, and it is powerful enough to kill the Ag Panther. Will it on its first try? No, probably not. Is it still enough to worry about? Abso-freaking-lutely. And with this thing also constantly firing its very, very explosive shots, plus a nice little MG on it. Good thing this has an MG, right? Elephant, right? Anyway, it's currently heading that infantry, allowing the Osttruppen and Grenadiers to kind of just hold the line. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's just Grenadiers. The Osttruppen all died, as they did. Anyway, oh, shit. I don't... Reloading. Yep, AT gun got in range. And fighters come in to try to hit the 17-pounder. Now they realize, oh, there's no AA. Oh, we can have fun now. Yeah, sure, you have to worry about the MG on these guys, but overall, now planes have full... Hold on. Crusader. Oh, never mind, they have an AA gun. And actually a really good one at that with a Crusader. So, that could be an issue. But it's one compared to, like, multiple AA guns they had previously. Ju-87 now moving up. Where are we going for? Hit the Wolverine. Come on. There we go. Oh, the building saved it from a couple shots, I think. But, yeah. Wolverine definitely is falling back, which could help out with the infantry pushing up into the city. Axis currently gaining more majority of the map. I mean, you have this you have to worry about. Fighters coming in. There we go, knocking out some rifles. And if they can hit the guy in the building, I'm sure these Grenadiers can push up. Right now they're closing on that territory, so it makes them easier to surrender if they're boxed in. Really? Okay, I was just going to say, you're really going to retreat them? Yeah, that's right. You turn around. Opening fire on the house. That would be terrifying if you're in a house and all of a sudden just planes open fired on the position. Because remember, those plane shots will pierce that house. So it's just like just shots firing through the house. More so as more armor piercing components than say a normal machine gun. Just again because they had to penetrate. They had to penetrate planes and whatnot. So of course the bullets had to be a little more effective. But they're completely surrounded. Yep, there they go. Instantly surrender. And then the rifles, anti-hype still is there. Now it's 50-50. And technically, Cadillacor just took a very hard position to come back from and just turn the tide. That being said, he has a Flak 88, so that'll help against a lot. And it looks like there's a lot of Crusader AAs now, so he has to really worry with his planes. He can still hit this. Anti-hype still could call it on that unit, and as long as he makes it fall back or get close to that. Like that red state, he can make them surrender if he can get there before they, get off that fallback state. And also, you can just kill them. Lynx is moving up as a effective recon versus infantry, trying to move up to help support. But again, the Panzerfaust. Oh boy, that Panzerfaust. But he got pinned, so he's not able to deploy it. Though the recon still died. Wonderful. Planes coming in still on that right-hand hook. There's too much AA in the city for them to really call it a major strike. And it looks like they were able to bring in and push. Yeah, take some territory and push in a little bit. Knocked out one of the AA guns, which is nice. But, yeah. That, this Lynx essentially just helps save us some territory. And it's kind of allowing anti-hype to get some more points back. So right now, nice job, allies. Axis not done yet. Bring the bazooka and AT forces to help clear out this sector. This is the allies' weak point. If they can push here, there's nothing stopping them from hitting French farmland and just constantly pushing all the way and taking as much territory as they need. So very cool. Very cool indeed. We have additional Sherman moving up. And they have a lot of vehicles in mid, which make infantry the lives very difficult. Wow. Artillery coming in on the Flak 88. And again, Flak 88 has... Wow, that's amazing. Some explosive shots. Planes going in, but again, there's a lot of AA. So over here, you have from the Crusaders. So they're going to take a lot of damage, and it's going to be a while before they come back. That being said, if they can move up all these forces and knock out that links, they could take over this right side. Or they could actually get a nice position on all this armor. Crusader Mark II taking some shots from the Pack 38. Nice hit, knocks it out. And he's slowly moving up a Flak. So a Flak kind of himself to help with allied planes. But unlike actual D-Day, there's no allied air force to speak of. He hasn't deployed, at least deployed, I think, one fighter. So I think this is more to counteract a lot of infantry. Once again, moving up. Once again, preparing to fire. Somehow this thing managed to live. It pulled itself back. Sherman, though, 10-10, so that pack's going to have a hard time penetrating. Oh, boy. Stop moving, dude. Stop. Oh, wait. Yeah, stop moving. Man, you had a great shot on that Sherman if you would have kept in the original position. Just fire up the street. Because the Sherman has 1,000 range, right? Yeah, 1,000. And you have 1,000 range. So you can just hit each other. But, you know, that's me. Artillery just hammering that Pack 88's position. Oh, we have a J87 moving up. What's he going to hit? Oh, he's going for the Sherman? Oh, he's going to have to regroup. Wait, why is that Crusader... Why did that Crusader not fire? It's AA. Yeah, so that's weird. Artillery still opening fire on these positions, and he has not reloaded that Nebelwerfer. The Nebelwerfer right here would be incredible. You could kill a lot of those blobs and make the armor retreat. But alas, you won't reload the damn thing. Why? It takes like one supply truck. And now, oh my god, this is what he needed. Cadillac Corps has taken a majority of the right-hand side. And somehow got troops on the left. That being said, as they get surrounded, it's going to retract that line. But still, overall, they have this huge right flank, which is kind of crippling for the Allies, because they actually need to push on these flanks. I know he has mid, which is wonderful, but the flanks are very important. And yeah, sure, he can probably bust through and clear a lot of this territory, but still, they'll take time. And right now, he doesn't have that. He has 4 minutes. 4 minutes to gain that advantage and start, winning by points. Otherwise, things will not be all that good for Anti-Hype, who, from coming back from being kicked out of the city to taking it over and then pushing on every flank and pushing the Axis back down to like 40% map control, that was huge. But now, things have turned. Not brilliantly. We can definitely see that Cadillac Corps has definitely had some issues. For example, not reloading, maybe some bad AT placement, but overall, pretty damn good. Oh, wow. And again, this is what a supply truck looks like. It reinforces all the artillery. And yeah, they're not that expensive. These things, again, just reload. So these artillery pieces can just keep opening fire and, keep harming. Double planes moving in. Oh, I can't wait to see what this looks like. Taking some AA shots from the Crusader. Breaking off engagement. One, though, not so... Come on. Oh, I think the building... Oh, yeah, I think the building may have taken some shots. Oh, nice hit from the Flak 88. That's beautiful. It just did mid. It got close enough where he ran right in the Flak 88's path and boom, knocked it out. Very, very nice indeed. So that's one armor unit. And he can't move up with the Staghounds because this thing will literally one-shot them with the infantry backing them up and the Marauder 2 backing them up. He has a nice defensive line here and along in mid. He has nothing on the right. He has armor moving up, but again, they have a Stug, which is fine. Stug could hold them back. It has to worry itself, but it could go toe-to-toe with a Sherman Mark III. But that being said, with artillery, making it fall back, we can see here. What he's trying to do is force this thing back so he can't fire, then move up his Shermans to gain as much territory as possible. But I think it's a little too late. While the Sherman guns are very powerful, and you can see here, he's going full. He's launching a full counterattack. I mean, it's goddamn. Like, he killed that armor, and they're just blowing everything up on that side. They're taking everything out. It's just not likely to win the game. Because, again, even with that thing down, he has more than enough AT and components. Again, with also that Flak 88 right there, if you can just have it fire. And just give it a little bit of time to counter. Also, we have the J87 coming in, and they don't have a lot of AA as much as they did because of the... Oh, no! It stopped him! The MG is on top. That sucks. I want to be that Sherman tank commander who's like, plane, I got this, and just fires with his MG at the incoming plane. That has to be the most ballsiest and sharp-eyed MG gunner I've ever seen, if I had to say it. So yeah, they're opening fire over here, pushing back the Panzerschreck group, and the Flak 88 now, oh damn it, I was gonna say not pinned down, but then it becomes pinned down. Damn it, could have got it. Needs another second. I mean, the Allies are trying. They're doing everything they have to push. Additional AA, all the artillery focus, trying to break this left hook, which is so close. But there's another AT gun moving up. Plus, Panzerschreck group getting real close along the infantry coming around the side. They're doing everything possible. And we have another Stug, and I'm assuming we have 8. Oh, we have a couple of Neber Warfare. Why? Okay, now you resupply it. And as I stated before, burns everything in the city. It's like, wow, that, you know, a little sooner would have been better with that. A little sooner. A lot of the A guns are destroyed. Shermans are continuing to push. They're pushing really deep without any infantry support. Nice job, I guess, trying to clear some of the infantry. And now the Allies have... They gained supremacy of the map, but still, the Germans edge them out. So, very nice indeed. Overall, losses and kills, let's double check. Again, the German player got a ton of kills. And again, majority of the points of the game. But anti-hype, again, you can't denounce him. It was a very close game. I'm actually curious, who got the most kills? With what? Okay, the priests in the back, yeah, they were... The priests, not bad. And the 25-pounder got quite a few good shots. And yeah, so what alright, so what was the most losses? What did that? The field artillery, alright, that's acceptable. Pack 43, man, I love that 88. One actual armor piece into the priest ED, and the rest are, oh sorry, the Hummer, and then the rest are infantry. That's great. Marauder 2, we didn't really see this thing in action much, but damn, it did a lot of damage. The Jagdpanther, for the limited time it was on the battle, took out a lot of armor very quickly, so very cool. But yeah, overall that was a pretty damn good game. I'm very happy to have casted that game. Two great guys going at it, very close, and actually showing again they're both infantry focused, and I love their battle in the city. It just was very climactic. I feel like Cadillac Corps may have relied too much on an air force that didn't really pay off too much, though he had air supremacy. It helped and knocked out some of the Allied armor, but I don't know. Once the Allies started getting AA guns and started clearing the infantry and the planes, it was like, oh shit, I may have just given them victory. But he was able to turn it. He was able to turn it with that Jagdpanther and not knocked out a lot of his armor support and a lot of his stuff to push. He never was able to retake the city, but that right push on the Allied flank actually did really well. So nice job there. But in any case, guys, this has been Greyshot117. And before I go, I want to thank my Patreon supporters like Sean, Tim, Leo, Ace, Carter, and Nick. Thank you guys so much for your awesome support. You guys rock. But this has been Greyshot117, and I will see you all next time.